they're so bad that the players that they're trading aren't even that good.
Lots of teams are capitulating. Lots of teams say their seasons are done. At least those bottom five that we've already identified as being the worst teams right now, the bottom five of the power rankings, their seasons are over. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So what team is hands down in the worst position going into the offseason and for future years? I'm going to make a case that the Browns might be in the worst position, and I'll make the case. Why? Next year, they're already set to be in dead cap space. They'll have $5 million beyond the cap in just their current contracts. The balloon payments start with Deshaun Watson's contract going all the way up to $41 million a year, and they're on the hook for that for the next 3 years. Okay? He's not the answer. Not only that, because of how bad Deshaun Watson's contracts went, I guarantee that front office is going to shy away from making any of those types of moves in the future and taking a risk on a veteran quarterback or one that seems to be proven. And we'll go back to year-over-year quarterback carousel hell. And the Browns are wasting the opportunity they had of having a legitimate top 5 defense and even just having a moderate offense right now. They're the only team that hasn't scored more than 20 points in a game this season.
There are like 4 baseball teams that have scored 20 points in 2024. Oh. Not the Browns, though.
But they don't even have Cooper anymore. They have Jerry Jeudy as their best target. They have Elijah Moore, who's already pissed off and left the Jets for a reason. Now he's making the locker room hell in Cleveland. You have an aging defense that you're not going to be able to hold on to the talent that you already have.
Yeah.
It is fire sale time for the Browns, and they need to start doing it now.
It's bad. For sure. They're in really bad shape. I think that, as you pointed out, the Saints' salary cap, calorie sap. That's what the Saints have, a calorie sap. Theirs is terrible also. And, I guess you have slightly better structure, but Carr isn't getting any younger. And, they were already a stretch to be a contender. So I think the Saints are in very, risky shape too. Carolina, as we know, are just in the absolute basement from that Bryce Young trade. I mean, that's a disaster all around.
Carolina sounds like they're shopping Deontay Johnson now, which can add to future capital. Bryce Young, you potentially could try, depending upon how he plays the rest of the season. But yeah, they're up there. They're just as bad, if not maybe even. But they're past the real bad points where they're starting to get draft picks back at least, Mike.
I guess, but they have no one on the roster. I mean, they're literally like an expansion team again. I mean, it's like they're so bad that the players that they're trading aren't even that good.
But in the near term, they're not stuck in cap space hell where they have to pay Deshaun Watson guaranteed $41 million every year.
I'll tell you another team that's in bad shape still, Dirk, and they did not make our bottom 5 power rankings. And it's slightly less bad because they have an elite rookie, but the New York Giants still are in really bad shape. I mean, Daniel Jones obviously is not the answer at this point. The team may turn to Drew Lock, who I still think has some untapped potential, and it'll be interesting with him and Neighbors to see what happens. But the team is just not in a good place. I mean, the most predictable thing possible happened here. I called it 2 weeks ago, I guess, whatever it was. Saquon Barkley 100% was going to go for a massive gain against the Giants, and he did.
I thought that Saquon would get hurt on the Meadowlands.
No, he was absolutely going to do that, and he would have been over 200 yards had they left him in the fourth quarter. But, yeah, the Giants are a mess, too. This is what we're looking at.
The Giants have a unique talent in Neighbors, who is putting up epic performances as a rookie. Robinson looks pretty darn good as a compliment to that. Singletary hasn't been bad this season. And then, no, he has not.
Devin Singletary, the bedrock for Super Bowl.
My point is look at the Browns, Mike. Nick Chubb is hobbling back, and it's a great story, but it's not long-term solution. He's getting older. Ford hasn't played well at all. The line might have some of the worst, oh my God, the tackles with the Browns have just played horrible, and partially that's probably because they hate the guy they're trying to protect. And then the Browns defense, Myles Garrett needs to get shopped, and I know it sucks because he's one of the best players the Browns have ever had. But he needs to get shopped so they can actually build for the future.
Here's an idea for the NFL. It's a little bit of a Buford Sports Network original. The Suck Bowl. And not just that, but the Suck postseason. Let's get these 6 teams into a bracket and have them play in this parking lot, in this wind, in February. And we'll see who's the worst.
Here's what I would say.
Yeah.
The winner of the Suck Bowl would get an extra first-round pick.
I love it.
Yeah,
See, I think people would love this. This is like this is a good idea. I put the Suck Bowl in Laramie, Wyoming.
Take out the Pro Bowl. No one cares.
No, get rid of
the Suck Bowl in Hawaii.
No, put it in Laramie, Wyoming in February. The Suck Bowl, and let's just see what happens. Turn them loose. You're going to have Bryce Young throwing into 60-mile-an-hour winds and Daniel Jones jumping over people on the frozen tundra.
I would love it.
Everyone would love this.
And, all right, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Going back to the Browns. The Browns have a really unique opportunity of making a really bad season even worse. And you know how? They are probably going to fire Stefanski at the end of the season because of how bad the season has been. And it's the absolute wrong decision. Stefanski was Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah.
He has one of the worst situations having to deal with Deshaun Watson, who the locker room cannot stand. The fans obviously cannot stand, and that's a totally different story, and that's awful, what happened. But Stefanski, if they get rid of Stefanski, not only are they starting over with the roster, but they have a proven good leader that they would just be shopping that he'd probably end up going to like Cincinnati and end up turning them into
full circle.
Oh.
Bill Belichick's coming back. He started as a head coach in Cleveland. He's coming back.
God, and this isn't Believeland last year or 2 years ago. What was it?
Yeah, that was literally last year.
Cleveland going back to like hell. That's the only thing that this franchise is going.
Believe it. You guys suck. All right.
The Suck Bowl.
The Suck Bowl. Well, this was